Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds have just drawn 0-0 at home to Sunderland, and people are panicking a little bit already. Look, Leicester lost tonight. If Leicester had won, then I could understand more of the panic, right? But Leicester lost. So we actually move into the top two. We had people in the chat saying, oh, no chance of top two now. That's playoffs it is. We just moved into the top two with that point. Like, look, again, you've got to take it into context. We've got to beat one of those top two teams. Just one, right? We've got to beat one of those top two teams. Plus, Millwall beat Leicester tonight, so Leicester have dropped 3 points. It moves us closer to the end, and we're still unbeaten at Elland Road, which is a ridiculous achievement, and we've only lost... Wait, we still haven't... Have we lost this year? Oh, yeah, we lost one game this year. One game this calendar year against Coventry. So just, it's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. We've only got a couple of games left. If we can get a few wins on the board in those games, there's every chance that Ipswich or Leicester trip themselves up. We've just got to be better than we were in this game. When talking about this game, actually, there's two things, isn't there? Number one, we didn't create enough going forward, and we weren't penetrative enough. We weren't moving the ball fast enough. We weren't supporting our wingers enough. I think when the ball goes out to that left-hand side and you've got Somerville and Kamara and Firpo out there, you've got the same problem where they can never really get in behind too much because the players from the opposition team come across and they basically block that option off. And then if you have a Jorginho drift over there, which is what I would like to see, you overload them when they've got 2 or 3 players marking you. You then put 3 or 4 players over there, and that's when you create that overload in the space to pass the ball, instead of going backwards towards Ampadu and Rodon and Meslier. And just honestly, the amount of times I said Ampadu to Meslier, Meslier to Rodon, just constantly passing back to each other across the back 2, 3. And it was like, they're never going to create anything. They were never going to create anything. And it's like, oh, please just do anything to create space and go forward. But then what happens is Joe Rodon starts forcing passes into Bamford. In the first half, they worked a couple of times, but at half time, their manager will have said, look, you need to stop those passes into Bamford. And they started getting cut off, but he was still trying them because it's like he was desperate to be the catalyst to get anything going, because nothing would really start off, and it was very frustrating to watch. So what we need to do is move the ball faster, create more gaps in the opposition, create more space for ourselves to run into, and also make better decisions. There's moments where I think Jorginho had a poor game. He did some stuff okay, as he usually does, little bits where you're like, oh, how the hell's he got the ball there still? But I think overall, for his standards, he had a pretty poor game. Decision-making was off by nearly everyone. The passing wasn't great. There was moments where we could have been in behind, and the passing just let us down. It went all the way through to Patterson in the Sunderland goal. So it's like everything's kind of just not quite clicking at the same time. But that will change. That will come good. It won't happen like that forever. We've only got a few games left now, so I'm hoping it turns around sooner rather than later. So going forward, not enough penetration, not great. Didn't really create the chances. We had 1 or 2, but barely half chances, and didn't have a shot on target until, I don't even know if we had one on target at all. But if we did, it was very, very late on. Mateo Joseph should have come on sooner. We should have had our substitutes on way, way sooner. We brought on to one, and that started a little bit of a spark, and we started to create things and dominate the game a little bit more. But it was too late, too little too late, because then we waited even longer to bring on Joseph and Peru. So substitutions for me have got to be a little bit earlier. I know me saying that's not going to change anything. Farke's still going to bring them on when he wants to bring them on. But for me, they've got to be brought on earlier. If it was me, I would be bringing them on way, way earlier than that. Then let's talk about the other side of the game. What's the positive? The positive is that we didn't concede again, and we looked fairly solid at the back. There was a couple of moments where they got in behind us, but that's always going to happen when you're a possession-based team and you're trying to dominate the opposition and trying to get the ball forward into their half and create things, because you're always going to have only a few players back with you, kind of rest defence, as we call it, on the halfway line. And when they did get in behind, there were moments that they did, but we had good cover. Ampadu came back, made some good challenges, a couple of times actually, and really helped us out there at the back. And Meslier made a couple of good saves, but we didn't concede. I thought we were solid defensively, and and we built ourselves a good base to go and try and attack the game, but we didn't do that well enough. So overall, I think defensively it's a plus, it's a positive. We didn't concede, we kept a clean sheet, and I thought actually defenders played quite well. It's just that our passing from the back just was not fast enough. There were so many moments where the ball came away from a corner or something, and we weren't able to get the ball into anyone fast enough to actually create anything. Then the other thing is, so that's our performance with none of the controversy, right? That's our performance with none of the controversy. But when you actually look at the game, Ballard should have been sent off. He had 3 yellow card challenges. So first one, he just went through the back of Bamford. That should have been a yellow card. He did it again. That got him his first yellow card. He also handballed the ball in the box when Crescencio Somerville had a shot, and he leant towards it like that and elbowed it wide. That's a handball, a penalty, and a yellow card. So he should have been off. 09 should have had a red card as well, because the way he went in on Dan James when he just completely clattered him, that's an orange card for me, like bordering on dangerous play, because you could seriously give someone a bad concussion doing stuff like that. So that got him a yellow card. And then a corner came into the box. Rodon goes to head it. 09 actually punches the ball with his hand, and he's walking away from the box after the referee's not given the handball and penalty, and he's going, why would he be doing that if it didn't hit his hand? God, that was frustrating. And honestly, the amount of challenges they flew in and just hacked us down and just scythed us from a distance and pulled our shirts and everything. They didn't do that at home, so it's clearly a tactic where they've come away and they've gone, right, be nasty, be aggressive, foul them constantly, which is horrible to have to play against and have to watch, because it just breaks everything up and it makes everything boring. It has potentials for injuries of your players, and it just stops you. I know it's a tactic and it works, but it's just so poor to watch. I would hate it if that was our only tactic, because it just makes you look like you're not good enough to actually deal with the opposition and that you have to resort to that. So having said all that, Sunderland, I thought, actually defended really well. The amount of corners, I know we're not great at corners, the amount of corners we had, but the amount that they defended and got away. I thought they also stretched the play fairly well, playing it out wide to the wingers. I thought Ekwa in the middle got the ball out wide as often as he could to Pembele and Jack Clark, and Jack Clark tried to create a couple of things on his own. I thought they did okay when they went out to the wings, and Hume and Styles overlapped and created overloads and tried to create stuff. So they did try and play, especially in the first half. In the second half, they kind of sat deeper and deeper until the end. But in the first half, they did come and try and play. So you have to also caveat this whole video with the fact that, yes, there's another team on the pitch and they actually played quite well. Despite the stuff that annoys you about the tackling and all that sort of stuff, you have to give them credit for the way that they came and stopped us being able to play our game. So you have to say fair enough to them for that. But all in all, a very, very frustrating game. But the overarching point of this video is don't panic. It's a point gained. We're now in the top 2. That is all I'm saying, right? Don't panic. We've got more games to play, right? Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.